What's up, guys? Joda here, Riffmania JP here. So I've been meaning to put this video together for a minute now. This is my bass rig. I've been playing with my band Ocean Drive for 6 months pretty much, and I built this based on what I thought I needed, and then things have changed along the lines, right? This is where I am today in 2025. So let's first start off with the bass. This crazy boy is a Dingwall D-Rock, one of the new Alpine Whites. I picked this up at Fret Nation, talked to Jason, who set you up right. So I don't like Strat-shaped anything, generally don't. So I need to look cool when I play, brother. That's why we got this bass like this, very black and white. And I'm just looking at my watch because that's where my little Apple Watch thing is to monitor. Overall, it looks great and it hits all the tones I like. I'm going to give you some clean without all the effects I like to use. I'll turn off the active EQ that I use on the Darkglass, and I'm gonna put a little picture on top of this later so you can see the settings I use. I just don't have a multi-camera setup, but like there's so many demos of all this stuff, it's not like you're gonna miss it. So just some clean tones here for the Dingwall, volume all up, running in standard. And I also have this going direct out for my preamp here, so I don't know exactly what the tones are get, but you get the idea. So this is with the single pickup setting right here. This is with the Stingray setting. I'm also running my MXR bass compressor at the same time here. P-bass pickup or jazz one, where I like to roll down the tone and just really, something really cool, something really nice like that works for me. And then ultimately, the all four at once. I really don't use it, all three pickups at once. Sounds like too much when I play live. So one thing I have been learning, maybe sometimes what I hear in-ears versus what I want to do live and on a speaker, because I only do in-ears. We don't use anything else. I go directly DI out. So sometimes these mixtures of things make it a little bit different than what I have in ear. So I want you guys to completely understand this is all based upon me playing only DI in every venue I play. No, that's pretty much it. So the first thing I want to start off with is the Shure. The Shure wireless. It goes without saying, I want to be wireless. I don't want to be tethered to anything when I'm wearing a wireless pack. And I'm using just the regular pedal version. It's great because it does have a cable out in case some shit hits the fan. And that's happened to me before. I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And it got to that point. Also, these aren't the inlays for this. Neck Illusions is the company that I use because I do like the colors. I want the piano feel. My other Dingwalls will have the same thing. Before this, I was using a Music Man Stingray also, and it just really wasn't a jam for me. So I got to stop doing it. Great bass, though, but once you do the Dingwall thing, man, it's hard to go back. So my settings, I'm playing in a pop band, a lot of Stevie Wonder, Bruno Mars, Michael Jackson covers, that kind of. So we're playing a lot of pop, right? Just want to be sure pop. So this is very based for pop and what I'm doing. So let's say for the drop pedal, I'm only using to play a couple songs, drop the half step. One of the famous is Do I Do. So I'll just do that, roll like the knob right here, like. Something like that, standard. But one of the things I want to really talk about is my bass chorus stays on all the time. No matter what I'm playing, I love the sound of bass chorus, and I only have a guitar player and backing tracks. I like the sound of it, especially like. It gives me like what I believe a fuller tone is, and I run it with the bass low and the treble the opposite way, so I can get a lot of clarity. I'm a big Metallica fan, so of course I just want to do like. It doesn't hit the same way without the same setting. So for the pop music that we're doing, I like to leave it on all the time. So we're just doing a lot of Michael Jackson, like. Just adds a little bit more spice to what I'm playing, right? If I feel like it's too much, I rarely do. I only usually feel like it's too much with the pick. 'Cause I think my clean sound is just clean. It doesn't do much for me. So I keep the bass chorus on. The next thing I want to talk about on the chain is the Microtubes Ultra. I wanted an EQ and the distortion, so this really does that for me. I have it always on with the mids up and some lower and some adjustments on the high pass and the low pass filters on the side, which makes it really great. But the best thing about the Darkglass, and I think anyone who uses knows, is like you can distort the highs and the lows in a different way and get different tones. This is where I'm pretty much using it, where we're playing like the killer songs and stuff like that. So I'll have the drop pedal on for that as well. Bass chorus, leave that on, This sounds kind of muffling. Let me roll the treble back up. I like to use it in the single pickup configuration for that. But in cases like this where it kind of feels like it's too much, I'll just lower that drive and at the high level. Good pedal. Don't use it as much as I used to, but when I'm fucking around at home, I definitely use it a bunch. The next thing on the chain, very simple. I just use a Donner noise gate, and I have it after my distortion, just because that's where the noise would come in. And I know most people wouldn't do this setting, but I'll explain as to why. I want the distortion to be just open. And I feel that gives me the best bet to put the noise gate there. So then the noise gate removes that unwanted hiss that the bass compressor might bring to a higher level. I used to run my compressor first in the chain, like I think most basses think about it, but because I'm running a lot of envelopes and synths, I rather have it there. So it works out a lot for me, just to taste. Sometimes I can hear it, and I'll just like I hear that noise right there, just adjust it right there, right? And then I can lower it. I don't mind some noise, because I know it's only when it's distorted. Let's turn that off. So the bass compressor, I have an MXR bass, standard one. The reason I choose this one is because of the gain reduction. You can see it on top. But I'm looking to upgrade. I was talking to other bass players of like, how do we look at this puzzle? And I feel like I can get more out of it. So there is a couple pedals I do want to replace on this chain. And the MXR bass compressor will be one of them, maybe a Cali 76 or a Phil Jones compressor, because I just want to do over-the-top stupid shit that I know is not necessary. Like sending my signal, the highs to one location and the lows to another location. It'll be super cool to get that done. The last thing that I want to take as technical is like my Magellan Pre. Now, Jason, again, from Fret Nation, put me onto this. And because I'm playing the 5-string, it does have a couple things that I prefer compared to the Mark bass. Like the Sans amp. The Sans amp, it does nothing for me. Like I'm not into it. Not a bad pedal, obviously. I just not into it. So what I wanted to do was have something more accommodating for 5-string bass. And this is a great analog pre-DI. And the things I like about it the most is it does have a high-pass, low-pass filter where you can remove those lower-end rumbles that I get on this 5-string. I have it like pretty much on a 9 o'clock, just getting the overtones out. And it also has two contours, two different EQ contours, which I like to use the B one better. This is B. This is A. Take off the chorus for you. I think it brings out more distortion. So, and I keep my bass control very low. I prefer a focused low end rather than a woofy one, because we can add that later. So that's why it might feel thin. I'm not sure what YouTube would do with this, but... So those are those, and I saved these effects for last. The synth and the filter. Now we're playing a lot of pop and funk. I'm playing a lot of Jamiroquai stuff, and it's just the flavor that it needs, guys. Like I love using that filter on Cosmic Girl's my favorite. Add some chords the same way, it would be huge. So the thing with the envelope filter that I know how to play with now is not only is the filter being felt through the hands, but I'm looking at my bass compressor, the gain LEDs to see if there's friction happening, right? Am I peaking too much? Because I want to open the envelope. Same thing when we play Can't Heat, right? Because you can do... It really is to make it to taste based on your fingers, based on your attack, based on your technique. And for me, that works well. A lot of the pop songs, I like to add it into. We do Justin Timberlake's Suit and Tie. I'll add that too, like on the bassy part. On the 5-string stuff. But, you know, if for sounds that are in regular chorus, we play Lenny Kravitz, It Ain't Over Till It's Over. That's a very popular chorus tone. I'll lower all my bass here, move it to the middle pickup. But the chorus effects kicks off a little because you lower the treble, right? So when you add more of that, the tone, you can hear more. And so although it feels like clinging like that, in the live mix, it don't feel that way because my sound guy, they can just bump up the what's going on. Again, with in-ears, man. I'm also using the Shure 212 in-ears. I would like to upgrade them, but I've never had more expensive ones to know if that would have worked. So that's just in details. But like so far, that's where the sound is. So my last addition, my last greatest pedal here was this Bass Synth MXR. This thing is a real deal. I just use it for the songs I was in. Like we've been playing Thriller lately, so it does the thing. What else do you want a pedal to do? So let me change my tones, move it back to here. You know, the low end is a little bit too low, but like there's a couple covers, a couple settings. We do it for Kiss's Prince, right, too. So a lot of great usable tones here. I like using this one here too. This is very synthy. So like we play Weeknd's Blinding Lights, and it's just like 1, 2, 3, go. Do, 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 do. Like you just hit that shit. Also a tone that I use for 24 Karat Magic. I have to use a drop pedal for that one, so you can lower it. With that one, I'll use a pick more, just because I can get more accuracy and consistency. There's nothing wrong with the fingers. I can pretty much do it. But the attack just becomes not as consistent. And for a song like that, I'm using the drop, the synth, the chorus, the compressor. Everything's on, and I'm not getting noise. I could even turn on the envelope filter, see what happens. So, I mean, not as clear, but like great clarity, especially with the micro tubes, bringing the mids up when those, you really want that to come out when you're playing those parts. So with that pedal, man, the presets work just fine. Like I still don't like to be a junkie going into these things. And how do they do this? How do they do that? That's never been my style, man. I'm a performative bass player. Like that's why I chose a Dingwall and this color and this shape, because like I don't want to have my bass up here and be a fucking nerd. Like if that's how some of you guys do it, good for you. That's not me. I never liked that aspect of bass play. Like bass players are just as awesome as guitar players. We can have cool shapes. We can have a great setup. We can brand ourselves in whatever way we want. I brand myself as a lead bass player, much because of attitude, not because of nonsense of playability. Like I'm not here to do anything but hold these songs and do them justice, right? I don't know how any of my tones are going to come across this. I know that people become tone Nazis for all that stuff, and I'm not one of those people. When I watch a gear review, I just want to see what they're using. I really couldn't care about the sound of it because like I sound like me on everything. So that's one thing that like I'm not bothered by. But like my gear decisions, the ones I wanted to upgrade, the bass chorus probably into a Julia, the bass compressor, if I need a bigger board, I want a Phil Jones, but that's gonna do a lot of routing and nonsense. But overall, if I needed to get rid of most of this stuff, I probably could, except for my preamp and my bass compressor. But the other ones are just flavors, right? Really cool flavors to make cooler moments, right? So you can stand out and not just be like bass player like that. You can create those moments. So my band also, Ocean Drive, put a link and all that stuff in the video. Thank you for checking this out. I can keep on going. If you guys want to hear more about stuff like this or tones or whatever, check me out. Peace. Have a great day.